Welcome back. This is a session where you ask questions and Dr. Narayan and I will try to field them. Now, before the questions, there is this thought that the external situation, at the end of the day, everything is linked, right? The foreign exchange situation, the interest rates, the fiscal deficit. In the conversation, I got the feeling that you were very worried about it, about the external situation. Why are you so worried?
I would say two or three reasons. One is I don't like the way in which the external debt is getting allowed to be increased. That means the ECB norms have become very flexible. And I can see why it is being done. For example, infrastructure financing, allowing it to be refinanced through the ECB route is because there is a severe shortage of funding for the infrastructure.
There's no long-term funding.
No long-term funding is available. But instead of doing this, if government had floated some through SBI or LIC, some long-term corporate bonds overseas, it would have been a much better way.
So what you're saying is, in lay terms, India is borrowing more and more overseas in the shorter end. That means we have to repay quicker. Which means if there is a current account problem, etc., it might just snowball into a foreign exchange problem.
Absolutely. If the commodity prices increase as they are starting to do, if remittances, if Europe and US don't pick up and remittances start, flattening out, then you have a serious problem of
I know, and the FIIs, you know how they are. At the whiff of they will run away.
Absolutely. And incidentally, this is a concern which was expressed by a lot of people at Davos now. That you are getting into some problems in a couple of years from now.
Oh my God, okay. It's all there, right? Let's begin the first question. Mr. Ramkumar Mathur from Ghaziabad. There's so much wastage in government spending. How can this be curbed? But they're asking you, give a couple of methods where government can cut down its wastage. Can you
I think, this is a very serious question, a serious question of bad governance. You see, there are states which are able to deliver a 1 rupee rice to every PDS card holder all over effectively. There are states where the delivery is less than 15 or 20% and 80% get wasted. And we have this crazy case of the kerosene theft.
Where an honest officer tried to stop it and you're killed. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I do think that this is a matter of
governance. And we need better governance.
We need better governance. We need stricter punishments for wrongdoers, including government servants. I think the bar for punishment is too low. I think we need to raise
people are able to squander public money, and finally it affects the budget, right? Your fiscal deficit.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's all composed of that. Yeah. Second is Mr. James from Jalandhar. Can you explain in simple terms how fiscal deficit is related to stock market? And I'll give you an explanation probably. I guess it is because when fiscal deficit becomes more, government has to borrow more. Which means the cost of money goes up, interest rates go up, and when interest rates go up, one thing is private sector doesn't have enough money, crowding out, etc. That's how it works, right?
Absolutely.
Fiscal deficit harms the...
absolutely. It reduces the money flow available for investment in stock market, investment in capital, etc. And therefore, it's a dampening effect on the markets.
So, fiscal deficit reduction means better stock market.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. There is no two way. It's like the laws of motion.
Absolutely. If you have a 1 or 1.5% fiscal deficit reduction, you can definitely
interest rates will go down, company profits will go up.
You can see the market going up.
Yes, Mr. James. We hope it happens. The third question is MS Lalita Rao from Hubli. There is so much tax evasion in India. What is the fastest way, according to you, that it can be removed?
I think this is a very, very important
related to the budget also, right? I mean, you collect more taxes.
Absolutely. And if you look at it very carefully, which are the sectors one needs to tackle? And you would see that it's a service sector. That means service sector, not the IT people, but the people like the shopkeepers, the traders, the businessmen, etc. That is where the maximum evasion is taking place.
Is it a collection issue or it's a...
I think it is purely a non-recording, non-account keeping kind of an issue. And I think in some ways the GST will help to track all these issues. So if the GST comes in, where input tax and output tax are measurable, I think automatically it will help direct tax collection also.
Explain that. I mean, how?
For example, a lot of, if you want to get GST benefits for the last portion, you have to keep account of your input tax credit. And once you have recorded your input and output tax credits in order to claim your GST benefits, then actually you are in a way recording all your transactions. It's a bit like this,
unlike capital gains. If you want to get capital gains exemptions, you will have to say what your acquisition price
Absolutely.
is. That means you have to declare your acquisition.
Declare your acquisition.
Okay, so GST completes the chain.
GST completes a chain of transactions from the production right down to the sale. And since production can be taken care of through the excise mechanism, right to the sale can be taken out the GST mechanism, the value addition can easily be captured.
So that can be, like VAT did that in sales tax.
In the sense.
I think that is a great thought. Friends, I think we have completely run out of time. We could have talked on and on about the union budget if you had wanted. Hope you enjoyed watching the show as much as the board did producing it. Thank you ever so much, Dr. Narayan, once again. Until next weekend then, this is PN Vijay signing off from Bloomberg UTV studios here in New Delhi.